When it comes to Locked, it feels like a movie that's made for the 1% to live vicariously, to do what they believe should be done when it comes to crime, or even people who make their life inconvenient or potentially make them feel unsafe. So, to summarize the film, Eddie's down on his luck, owes back child support, and because he's unable to get a job that pays him enough, he does petty theft in order to try to make ends meet. Unfortunately for him, he decides to go into a car owned by a gentleman named William, who has made his car into a bit of a trap, which he uses to torture Eddie throughout the film. And it seems to be that his goal is to not just torture Eddie to teach him a lesson, but ultimately potentially kill him. So the highlight of this film is definitely that when it comes to a lot of horrors, or even thrillers, if this counts as one of the main things that they don't do consistently is make you care about whether the person lives or dies who's the lead, rather than how they're gonna die. Eddie, thankfully, is somebody who, granted, it takes a while, but eventually, beyond just the fact that he's somebody's father and you get to see his kid, you do care specifically about Eddie living or dying, as he goes through so much when it comes to William. But while that is a highlight, unfortunately, one of the on-the-fence topics is William's performance, especially when it comes to him being someone you should at the very least love to hate. To me, when it comes to Anthony Hopkins, when Williams is just a voice, you don't get the full effect. Him taunting Eddie almost makes you think this is the future when it comes to AI. It was going to be an actual physical actor talking against some type of AI, and the AI is trying to have inflections, trying to really do something, but ultimately it feels a bit lifeless. But thankfully, once Anthony Hopkins is physically on screen and interacting with Eddie, that's when things get interesting. That's when the ante's up a bit, and I would even say it helps you start to really care about Eddie, because now it feels truly serious, and that Eddie's not just playing off some machine and some guy who's just some figure far off in some penthouse. But overall, when it comes to Locked, the idea behind Locked isn't bad, but again, the problem is the fact that Anthony Hopkins, just as a voice, isn't formidable or good enough, and unfortunately for most of the movie he is just a voice. So while eventually it does get better, I can't say for everyone that they'll really get into this film and enjoy it for the most part, and then feel like things get taken up to the next level when Anthony Hopkins appears. They may feel actually that this film is kind of and as much as Eddie gets tortured to try to keep things interesting for most of the film, it may not be enough.